Illinois real estate exam vocabulary. Question 1. A brokerage wants to operate a virtual office location for Illinois consumers. Which compliance focus best fits the licensing outlined during Blair's Aurora single-family home file review? Option A. Registration, supervision, and public-facing brokerage compliance for virtual or branch operations. Option B. Avoiding all broker supervision because the office is online. Option C. Replacing written brokerage agreements with website clicks only. Option D. Advertising as an unlicensed technology company. The correct answer is option A. Registration, supervision, and public-facing brokerage compliance for virtual or branch operations. Virtual or branch operations still require appropriate brokerage supervision and compliance with licensing rules. Being online does not remove supervision, written-agreement, licensing, or advertising requirements. Question 2. An appraiser values a new custom home with few comparable sales and limited rental data. Which approach may receive special attention during Quinn's Evanston 2-flat building file review? Option A. Income approach only. Option B. Cost approach. Option C. Gross rent multiplier only. Option D. Subdivision platting method. The correct answer is option B. Cost approach. The cost approach is often useful for new or special-purpose properties when sales and income evidence are limited. The income approach and gross rent multiplier depend heavily on rental income, while subdivision platting is not a primary appraisal approach. Question 3. A listing closes at $470,000 with a brokerage fee of 5.5%. What total commission is generated before any split? Option A. $12,925. Option B. $30,550. Option C. $25,850. Option D. $4,700. The correct answer is option C. $25,850. Commission is calculated by multiplying the sale price by the commission rate. $470,000 times 5.5% equals $25,850. The distractors divide the commission, use the wrong percentage, or calculate only 1% of the price.
Stressed about your AccuPlacer exam? We can take AccuPlacer exam for you remotely and undetected. We always guarantee a pass and payments only after results. To send us an email, scan the code or tap the link in the description and let's get it done.
Question 4. A licensee knowingly misrepresents a material fact to induce a buyer to sign. Which licensing consequence is most relevant during Logan's Decatur Townhome file review? Option A. Automatic zoning approval. Option B. Mandatory title insurance payout. Option C. A tax prioration credit only. Option D. Disciplinary action for unprofessional or dishonest conduct. The correct answer is option D. Disciplinary action for unprofessional or dishonest conduct. Knowing misrepresentation can trigger discipline because it harms consumers and violates professional standards. Zoning approval, title insurance payout, and tax prioration are unrelated remedies for this licensing misconduct. Question 5. A property manager receives a residential tenant's security deposit from Avery. How should the funds be treated for licensing-exam purposes during Kendall's Elgin small apartment building file review? Option A. Handle the deposit as money belonging to another party and account for it properly. Option B. Spend it immediately as management profit. Option C. Treat it as the broker's personal emergency fund. Option D. Refuse to keep any written record of the deposit. The correct answer is option A. Handle the deposit as money belonging to another party and account for it properly. Security deposits are funds connected to the landlord-tenant relationship and must be handled with proper accounting and legal care. Treating them as immediate profit, personal funds, or undocumented cash would create serious compliance issues. Question 6. A seller receives $332,000 at closing, pays off a $78,000 mortgage, and pays $7,850 in seller closing costs. What are the approximate net proceeds during Harper's normal mixed-use storefront file review? Option A. $254,000. Option B, $246,150. Option C, $324,150. Option D, $85,850. The correct answer is option B, $246,150. Seller net proceeds subtract the loan payoff and seller costs from the sale price, $332,000 minus $78,000 minus $7,850 equals $246,150. The other answers omit one deduction or add deductions instead of subtracting them from the sale price. Question 7. A candidate is planning the broker exam schedule and wants to understand the Illinois minus specific portion. How is the state portion commonly structured in the current SCI bulletin during Jamie's Carbondale vacant lot file review? Option A, 100 questions with 150 minutes allowed and a 70% passing score. Option B, 50 questions with 120 minutes allowed and a 74% passing score. Option C, 40 questions with 90 minutes allowed and a 75% passing score. Option D, 90 questions with 150 minutes allowed and a 75% passing score. The correct answer is option C, 40 questions with 90 minutes allowed and a 75% passing score. The Illinois broker exam has a separate state portion listed as 40 scored points, 90 minutes, and a 75% passing score. The 100 minus question 150 minus minute format describes the national broker portion. The 50 minus question 120 minus minute option reflects residential leasing, and the 90 minus question format applies to a different examination category. Question 8. The same brokerage may work with both Harper and Jamie in one transaction. Why must dual or designated agency issues be handled carefully? Option A. They automatically cancel every contract. Option B. They eliminate all broker duties. Option C. They require the buyer and seller to use the same attorney. Option D. They can affect consent, confidentiality, and the duties owed to each party. The correct answer is option D. They can affect consent, confidentiality, and the duties owed to each party. Representing or assisting both sides can create consent and confidentiality issues that must be handled according to law and brokerage policy. It does not automatically cancel contracts, eliminate duties, or force the parties to share legal counsel.
Are you looking for non-medical assistant exam actual questions? Visit our website pokerexams.com to access non-medical assistant exam study guide with actual questions and answers. Scan the QR code or click the link in the description to get non-medical assistant exam answer key today.
Question 9. A small rental property has annual net operating income of $38,000 and an indicated capitalization rate of 9%. What value is suggested by the income approach during Jordan's Moline Lakefront Cottage file review? Option A, $422,222. Option B, $342,000. Option C, $4,222. Option D, $211,111. The correct answer is option A, $422,222. The income approach using direct capitalization divides NOI by the capitalization rate. $38,000 divided by 9% equals about $422,222. The other answers multiply by the rate, treat the percent as a whole number, or cut the indicated value in half. Question 10. Parker passed the Illinois broker examination but delayed the license application for more than a year. What is the likely exam minus related consequence? Option A. The score remains valid permanently. Option B. The passing examination result may no longer be usable for licensure. Option C. The candidate becomes licensed automatically. Option D. Only a name minus change form is required. The correct answer is option B. The passing examination result may no longer be usable for licensure. The SCI Bulletin states that candidates must apply for licensure within 1 year after passing the appropriate examination. A permanent score, automatic licensure, or a simple name minus change form would not satisfy the application requirement after the score validity window has passed. Question 11. A driveway crosses one parcel so a neighboring parcel can reach the road. Which property concept is most likely involved during Morgan's Waukegan Commercial Suite file review? Option A, fixture. Option B, novation. Option C, easement. Option D, defeasance clause. The correct answer is option C, easement. An easement gives a right to use another's land for a specific purpose, such as access. A fixture is attached property, novation substitutes a contract party or obligation, and a defeasance clause relates to mortgage satisfaction. Question 12. A property is worth $340,000 and has a loan balance of $105,000. Approximately how much equity does the owner have during Taylor's Belleville Farm parcel file review? Option A, $445,000. Option B, $105,000. Option C, $272,000. Option D, $235,000. The correct answer is option D, $235,000. Equity is the property's value minus debt secured by the property, so $340,000 minus $105,000 equals $235,000. The distractors add debt, report the loan balance, or use an unsupported percentage of value. Question 13. An owner personally advertises and negotiates the sale of the owner's own rental duplex. Why is this usually treated differently from brokerage for others? Option A, owners may generally sell or lease their own property without acting as licensed brokers for the public. Option B, every owner must hold a broker license before signing a deed. Option C, the owner is automatically sponsored by the buyer's broker. Option D, the owner may collect commissions from other sellers without a license. The correct answer is option A. Owners may generally sell or lease their own property without acting as licensed brokers for the public. Real estate license laws typically regulate brokerage services performed for others, especially for compensation. An owner selling the owner's own property is not thereby representing the public as a broker, while licensing would be required to collect commissions or broker transactions for other owners. Question 14. A homeowner challenges the assessed value used for property taxes. Which concept is being examined during Avery's Springfield 2-flat building file review? Option A, agency termination by death. Option B, the assessment and property tax valuation process. Option C, a leasehold surrender. Option D, escrow disbursement only. The correct answer is option B, assessment and property tax valuation process. Property tax questions often focus on assessed value, tax rates, exemptions, and appeal procedures. Agency termination, lease surrender, and escrow disbursement are separate real estate topics. Question 15. A buyer purchases for $190,000, makes a 20% down payment, and has $3,700 in closing costs. About how much cash is needed at closing before credits during Cameron's Peoria condominium unit file review? Option A, $38,000. Option B, $3,700. Option C, $41,700. Option D, $186,300. The correct answer is option C, $41,700. Cash needed combines the down payment and closing costs, 20% of $190,000 plus $3,700 equals $41,700. The other choices omit either the costs or the down payment, or subtract costs from the price incorrectly. Question 16. Jordan posts a social media ad for a listing near Galesburg using only a personal phone number and no brokerage identification. Which issue is most likely raised by Illinois advertising rules? Option A. A licensee may advertise without any broker identification online. Option B. Only print advertising must identify a broker. Option C. Brokerage identification is unnecessary if the property address appears. Option D. Real estate advertising must identify the sponsoring brokerage in a compliant and not misleading way. The correct answer is option D. Real estate advertising must identify the sponsoring brokerage in a compliant and not misleading way. Illinois advertising expectations focus on protecting the public from misleading ads and making the sponsoring brokerage clear. Online ads are still advertising, and the property address or a personal phone number does not replace proper broker identification. Question 17. A brokerage wants to operate a virtual office location for Illinois consumers. Which compliance focus best fits the licensing outlined during Hayden's Rockford small apartment building file review? Option A. Registration, supervision, and public-facing brokerage compliance for virtual or branch operations. Option B. Avoiding all broker supervision because the office is online. Option C. Replacing written brokerage agreements with website clicks only. Option D. Advertising as an unlicensed technology company. The correct answer is option A. Registration, supervision, and public-facing brokerage compliance for virtual or branch operations. Virtual or branch operations still require appropriate brokerage supervision and compliance with licensing rules. Being online does not remove supervision, written-agreement, licensing, or advertising requirements. Question 18. A listing broker learns of a known foundation crack before a buyer submits an offer. How should the issue generally be treated in an Illinois exam scenario during Parker's Bloomington mixed-use storefront file review? Option A. It may be hidden if the seller requests silence. Option B. A known material fact should be disclosed rather than concealed. Option C. It is never relevant once the property is listed as is. Option D. It must be disclosed only after the buyer obtains a loan. The correct answer is option B. A known material fact should be disclosed rather than concealed. Known material facts can affect a buyer's decision and should not be concealed. A seller's request, and as is label, or the timing of financing does not eliminate the broker's duty to avoid misrepresentation and disclose material information.
Stressed about your non-medical assistant exam? We can take non-medical assistant exam for you remotely and undetected. We always guarantee a pass and payments only after results. To send us an email, scan the code or tap the link in the description and let's get it done.
Question 19. A buyer transfers contractual rights to another purchaser before closing, subject to the contract terms. Which concept is most likely being tested during Reese's Champagne vacant lot file review? Option A. Accession. Option B. This cheat. Option C. The assignment. Option D. Hypothecation. The correct answer is option C. Assignment. Assignment involves transferring contract rights to another party when permitted. Accession concerns additions to property. Escheat transfers property to the state when no heirs exist, and hypothecation involves pledging property as security without giving up possession. Question 20. A residential seller in Illinois knows about past roof defects but leaves the disclosure report blank. What concept is most directly tested during Alex's Joliet rental duplex file review? Option A. The buyer's duty to ignore all seller statements. Option B. The lender's exclusive duty to inspect the property. Option C. The appraiser's authority to waive statutory disclosures. Option D. The seller's disclosure obligations for known material defects. The correct answer is option D. The seller's disclosure obligations for known material defects. Illinois residential disclosure rules focus on the seller's disclosure of known material defects. Buyers still may inspect, but that does not make seller disclosure meaningless. Lenders and appraisers do not waive statutory disclosure duties. Question 21. A borrower asks about a VA loan program during financing. Why might this appear on a licensing exam? Option A. Government-related loan programs have eligibility, insurance, guarantee, or property-condition features that differ from conventional loans. Option B. Government loans never involve underwriting. Option C. Government loans automatically waive all closing disclosures. Option D. Government loans transfer the seller's deed to the lender before closing. The correct answer is option A. Government-related loan programs have eligibility, insurance, guarantee, or property-condition features that differ from conventional loans. Government-related financing may involve special eligibility, insurance, guarantee, or property standards. These loans still involve underwriting and disclosures, and they do not transfer the seller's deed to the lender before closing. Question 22. Alex receives $2,000 in earnest money and places it in a personal checking account for convenience. Which trust-account problem is illustrated? Option A. A lawful automatic conversion of escrow funds into commission. Option B. Commingling client funds with personal funds. Option C. A required method for handling every earnest money deposit. Option D. A title defect that is cured by recording a deed. The correct answer is option B. Commingling client funds with personal funds. Client or customer funds such as earnest money must be handled through the appropriate special or trust account process. Putting the money into a personal checking account is commingling. It is not automatic commission, not the required method, and not a title-recording issue. Question 23. A buyer and seller sign a purchase contract with competent parties, lawful purpose, mutual assent, consideration, and a sufficient property description. Why is the contract likely enforceable during Sydney's Oak Park Commercial Suite file review? Option A. It is enforceable only if recorded before closing. Option B. It becomes a deed immediately when signed. Option C. It contains the core elements generally required for a valid real estate contract. Option D. It is void unless the broker drafted every paragraph. The correct answer is option C. It contains the core elements generally required for a valid real estate contract. A valid contract generally requires competent parties, mutual agreement, consideration, lawful purpose, and adequate written terms for real estate. Recording is not required for contract validity. A contract is not the same as a deed, and broker drafting is not the element that makes the contract enforceable. Question 24. A sponsoring broker is asked to produce special account records during a regulatory review. Which practice best supports compliance during Logan's Decatur Farm Parcel File Review? Option A. Deleting old deposit records once the closing occurs. Option B. Keeping records only in the salesperson's personal email. Option C. Combining all clients into one undocumented cash envelope. Option D. Maintaining complete transaction and trust-account records that can be examined when required. The correct answer is option D. Maintaining complete transaction and trust-account records that can be examined when required. Regulators may examine records to verify compliant handling of funds and transactions. Deleting records, relying only on a personal email, or using an undocumented cash envelope undermines record retention and auditability. Question 25. A closing file includes a quitclaim deed. Which distinction should an exam candidate focus on when comparing deed types during Kendall's Elgin single-family home file review? Option A. The promises or warranties the grantor makes about title can differ by deed type. Option B. All deed types provide identical title warranties. Option C. A deed is the same document as a mortgage note. Option D. A deed never needs a grantor or grantee. The correct answer is option A. The promises or warranties the grantor makes about title can differ by deed type. Different deeds can provide different levels of title assurance, depending on the grantor's warranties. A deed is not a mortgage note, and valid deed analysis involves parties such as grantor and grantee as well as delivery and acceptance.